Alright, welcome back. Part 3 of the Mutt Ranger Truggy build. Moving right along, getting a bunch more progress done on it. And as you can see, doing some masking here because the next on the list is some paint work. So let's take a look and see what I've got going so far. Okay, so first order of business, now that the interior is gutted in it, I've got the windshield inside and outside masked off to protect it. I'm going to paint the whole interior of the truck first, body color, the lead foot gray. Let's see here. This truck didn't have a headliner in it. I'm going to make a little headliner of my own to put in there, just more for decoration more than anything here. But anyway, I went through red Scotch Brite 220, just went and scuffed all this up. All of this I scuffed up, wiped everything down with acetone, blew out the whole truck. So I'm just going to go ahead. I don't really need to worry about the outside of the truck because obviously we're painting that too. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to use my little Firewall little paint jars. I'm going to mix up the paint. And all this blue, well, not all the blue, but any of the blue that's going to be exposed because there's no trim covering it, we're going to go ahead and shoot it all gray. And then we're going to let her dry for a while. And hopefully it turns out good. I'm hoping I'm not going to have any kind of weird reactions with this, whatever this rattle can paint is. I'm going to paint right here, the bottom half of the A-pillar where the door is going to cover it up. So I'm gonna shoot paint there, but I'm not gonna cut in the jams. We got a plan. After this is all done, we're gonna set the cab back on the chassis. Then I'm gonna hang the doors, align everything, and then the doors, they'll be gutted. We'll go ahead and we'll paint those inside and out after they're hung back on the cab of the truck. We'll just back mask everything on the inside there, so protect everything that I'm doing today. So that's the plan. So let's get right into it and let's mix up some paint. Okay, disclaimer first. I am not a painter. That being said, let me show you how I paint my truck. So, what we have here from my local Sherwin-Williams Automotive Center, I have their Dimensions brand. Got a quart of their lead foot gray. I got my reducer, and I got my hardener. The way this is going to mix up is this is 4 parts, 2 parts, 1 part. We use this little mixing bowl here, and you just find the proper ratio that you're looking for right there. 4, 2 to 1. So you just match up your numbers. I'm gonna mix this up. I'll pour in the first line of paint to the 3, and then the second line here I'll go up to the next 3, and then the last column I'll go to the final 3, and that'll get me the proper ratio. And then I will just pour it into my Firewall paint jar, little aerosol sprayer, and that's how I'll lay it down. It's super easy. It's just like spray painting with an aerosol can, but with, you know, good proper automotive paint. So that's what we're going to use on the interior. I've used it in the past on many projects over the years, and I love this cheap little setup here. Unfortunately, paint is getting ridiculously expensive here since the last go around when I bought paint for the other Bronco 2. So you're looking at, this was about $90. This was like $30, and I think this was like $15. So it's not as cheap as it used to be, unfortunately. But anyway, that's what we're going to use, so let's get spraying. Okay, here we are. Give her a little test blast. Alright, we got paint. So, I think I'm going to start on this back wall right here. Let's see how this lays. Do definitely a couple light coats. I should have put a mask on. This stuff does the fumes pretty heavy. It's looking pretty good. Oh yeah, that looks real good. Time to ventilate. Threw on the furnace and cracked the garage door here, get some ventilation in here. Use about a quarter of this jar so far. And this much of it. It's gonna work out perfectly. Gonna get this all sprayed. And actually tonight we are taking off on a road trip. We're outside of Toledo, Ohio. And we are driving out to visit a friend. Meet for the first time in person. Jeff Baghart is hooking me up with some parts that I'm going to need for this build in Omaha, Nebraska. And the parts are a little large to ship, so me and Lisa decided we're just going to take a road trip. We're going to drive out to Jeff's place and going to check out Jeff's. I'll put a link here in the video for Jeff's. He has his own YouTube page too. He's got some really cool projects. He buys up some really nice Bronco 2s, does some pretty cool work to them. A lot of them he flips. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on for some cool projects too. All right. Carrying on. A little shot light in here probably would have been beneficial. Oh well. It's good enough for who it's for. First coat on here. Like I said, we're going to be gone. We're leaving late tonight for Nebraska, so this thing can set up and we'll have a good 24 hours to dry. So that'll work out perfectly. See, when I get at a little bit of an angle, you can hear the gun. Picks up air, little tube inside. All right. So I'm gonna make sure I got good coverage on any of the spots. There's gonna be no trim or a headliner, so Looks good. All right, 2 coats. Decided to go ahead and just spray part of the jam, so I just wanted to see if there was a reaction with the paint that's underneath there. But anyway, she's definitely got need some dry time. There it is, Leadfoot Gray. All the way up around the perimeter. Didn't really need to do up there, but I had just a little bit of paint left. I figured I might as well lay it on something. And out here, like I said, I just did the pinch weld just to get something on there. Painted back in here, since that will all get covered up by the fender. Won't be able to get to it. Front part of the jam, that's all painted. There we go. It's pretty good. That'll be much better than the blue, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry up for a day, and we'll see how she looks. So early Sunday morning, we decided to hit the road and started our 10-hour drive all the way to Omaha, Nebraska. Neither one of us had ever been west of the Mississippi River, so it was kind of cool seeing that, and then again crossing the bridge over the Missouri River into Nebraska. All stuff we had never seen before. We even drove by Iowa 80, the world's largest truck stop. I didn't even realize that was a thing, although we didn't have time to stop and check it out. Maybe another time, but probably not. So anyway, Jeff hooked me up with some good parts that I was looking for, gave us tour of his little shop area that he works out of, and we just loaded everything up, and then we turned around and headed back home. We got a hotel room for the night, and that was it. A real quick trip, but it was cool seeing Jeff's pretty little cream puff here in person, man. Such a nice truck, and he's got many more to come too. All right, back from our little trip to see Jeff, and everything is dry, obviously. Turned out pretty good in here. I know the lighting sucks, but got some extra trim pieces that I was looking for from Jeff, so that's cool. But yeah, this all turned out pretty good. Good enough, anyway. So what I'm doing next is the seat harnesses are going to need something to attach to, and they don't go all the way down to the floor. So I came up with the idea, I'm going to make a removable bar that's going to go across the back wall here that will be able to attach the shoulder harnesses for the strap for the 4-point harnesses. And down in this corner, that metal bracket was for the original seatbelt retentioners. If it's strong enough for that, well, then I figure it's strong enough to build off of. And I've made these metal plates that bolt right to those. Here's the second one that I made. And then what I'll do is I'm going to take a bar and I'll put a bend in it. It'll get welded here. It'll come up, go across, and attach on the other side. Basically something like that. So I got the plates made. They'll bolt up in place like I want. So now I just got to bend a bar and get everything to fit right and weld it up. Easy, right? Okay. So here it is, all tacked into place. My tubing bending skills are not up to par, so I had to put a seam in it so I could get the length right, and just welded them together. So no big deal, it'll be good. I may even put a leg from here to the floor, I'm not sure, but I'm going to pull it out now. It's just tacked together. And I'm going to burn it in real good, then we'll see how sturdy she feels. And the bar is done. That thing is stout. Figures I missed a little bit of paint right there, but whatever. Bolts right to that bracket in the corner for the factory seatbelt tensioner. Plenty stout. And I just ordered my RJS seat harnesses. They have a Y, I don't know what you call it, a Y-link shoulder harness strap that I can either weld a tab to that and bolt it to it, or I can just wrap it with the strap and the buckle that they send with it. So two different options for mounting the shoulder harnesses. So there it is. That part's done. Now that still gives me room in the middle of the back wall. There's going to be obviously one, maybe two amplifiers for the stereo system, and I may mount a panel back there for more relays and other electrical components to keep the dash and all the wiring up here not cluttered. So I got room to do that. Also, I went to Eric's last night, and on his 88 Ranger, I went ahead and got a template for all the factory holes that was on his firewall. And now I can trace out onto this firewall, and I can cut them out so a factory heater box can still bolt right up. So I'm going to cut this out. I have another heater box. I'm going to go ahead and double check, make sure everything lines up right before I go drilling and cutting any holes and everything. So using the air saw, went ahead and ripped the holes in the firewall for the heater box, and so far so good. Just I got to open up the top there for the heater core lines to come through, but other than that, it is all good. There we go, that's better. Heater core lines fit through, all the doors line up, bolt holes, the drain for the heater box. That's for, well, in my case, it'll be in case I ever blow the heater core. I'll know. That's hopefully it'll drain out of there and not in the interior. So the hole for the ECM plug, I just gotta clean that up, make it a little more the correct shape. But everything else is good. The inside. So here's how it fits inside. What they got to figure out is the ducting that goes from there up to the dash. I don't have that vent. But what I'm going to do is this door right here will be permanently, that's what would go into the dash vents. So I'm going to affix that shut permanently. I'll seal it off. Same with this. I don't know what this hole here is for, but that'll be sealed off. So I still have all my, I'll have floor heat blowing down at my feet. Right here I removed the little vacuum actuator that controls the recirculation, the fresh air. I'm going to block off, I have it shut. Whoops, I'm sorry. I have it shut right here, so it's not going to be pulling any fresh air in from the cowl. So I'll have maximum heat in the winter time with no fresh air coming in there. And in the summertime it don't really matter. I have the heater, I have a shutoff valve that goes in line with the hot heater hoses that go into the heater core, so I can shut off the coolant flow into this so it won't get no hot water. So it'll be fine. It's just a tiny little standard cab, so I can open the windows. I'm putting a slider in the back, so we'll have a sliding back window, so we'll have plenty of air circulation. My main concern is having defrost, so I have to figure out how to make that work. So, but that's where we're at today. There's the holes there. The round one is for there's an electrical plug that went through out there for the blower motor resistor, and then that's where the ECM, the oval one, I just got to clean up that shape so it's the right shape for the plug. So, and it looks like this power cable here still fits and clears, so we're good there too. Awesome. Alright, and just for fun, we'll see how this turns out. I had a bunch of leftover black headliner material, and I had this fabric that we picked out for Lisa's Bronco 2. We were going to do something with it on the interior to spice it up a bit. But I decided the inside of the truck here, the middle of that roof panel where I didn't paint it, I'm going to try to put this up there. So I glued hopefully that shows it okay, but anyway, a few little wrinkles, but it's gonna be on the roof anyway, so I'll let these sit up for about 15 minutes so that fabric dries real good to the headliner material. Then I'll go ahead and I'll spray the glue all on that, and I'll come in here, spray all the glue up on the ceiling, and then probably have to wait till I get some help, and then go ahead and stick it up there, and hopefully it stays. I know it gets hot up there in the sun in the summertime, but that should work. If not, it comes down, no big deal. I can always do it again. Anyway, I thought that'd look kind of cool inside there. All right, drum roll, please. There it is. And I'm getting one little wrinkle in the front edge of it. I should have started in the middle and worked my way out, but by myself I just started on one end and worked my way to the other side, and yeah, ended up with a wrinkle, but that's okay. It's an off-road truck. Well, I think it's going to be a nice subtle little touch. I know it's hard to tell probably in the video, but it's just got some gray, black, and red, which is going to go with the color scheme of the truck. I think it's going to be pretty cool though. I like it. So the dash, put a fresh coat of low gloss black on this. Got my 67 design carbon fiber phone mount on here. I can add another ball and another arm for the other side. And I made these little adapter plates, some Rockford Fosgate 1-inch tweeters for some front fill. So I'm gonna pop the grills on, get this all covered up. The dash is pretty much ready to be installed, pretty much. Like I said, the face of it, I have textured ABS plastic that I'll be covering all of that. So it should look pretty sweet. And just messing around with the seat tracks that Dan sent back to me, that Eric had sent to him, that I had gave to Eric originally. They've come full circle. It looks like these are not Ranger seat tracks by any means, but I think they will work. Some slight modifications to these front edges to where get them to lay flat and level, and these should work. I'll just have to put some more reinforcement plates in the bottom of the floor pan for them, and we'll have sliders that will be adjustable, and I think these are going to work damn good. It was about as low to the floor as I could get them, so shouldn't pose any problem height-wise, I don't think. So yeah, this will work. We can do this. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. Again, I'm trying to keep these shorter and coming quicker anyway. Try to show this kind of in real time and how fast it's going to take to build this. So pretty good progress here. I got the parts that I needed from Jeff in Omaha. Heater box, got the dash, although I'm kind of trading off some of these parts to my buddy Eric, trading off the second gen for the first gen parts that I want to use in this anyway. So Firewall's all modified, heater box fits, get all that figured out. Headliner's in, we got some of the paint work cut in already, so pretty good so far. I'm about ready. I think I'm going to be done messing with this, maybe other than I'll put the round headlights. I'll get those mounted in. I'll get that done. And once that's done, I think I'm done messing with the cab for a while. I'm ready to move on to Gilligan and start pulling probably start from the back of the truck. I'm going to pull the fuel tank out, skid plate, pull the rear axle, leaf springs, and move everything over to the Ranger chassis and start bolting stuff in. And hopefully in the next week or so, maybe I could get the chassis as a roller, get the suspension all in it. And then I got to get the motor out of Gilligan. I want to get it on the stand, and I'm going to go through and freshen it up, re-gasket everything, check the bottom end, just look at the bearings, make sure everything's good on it. So that's it. We'll call this a wrap on this video, and I will hopefully see you on the next one. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.